Well, I have a follow-up with the cardiologist in October, but for the most part, they've cut me loose and released me back into the wild. I guess that means I'm free to be as feral and ornery as Rachel will allow me to get away with.
Put it on me.
Well,
You're feral and ornery without me.
I could think of worse wardens to have to crack the whip.
It's good to have him back feral and wild.
Feral and ornery.
Speaking of feral and wild, we're keeping our eye out, so we felt the call to share some space with the family this morning.
Mainly today, we're just out here trying to get our forest eyes tuned back in. It's been a minute since we've been out here. Take a look around and see if we notice anything that stands out or is different. It's been a heck of a year and a heck of a ride.
Yeah.
Before we get too deep into this, I want to say a great big huge thank you.
Absolute thank you.
To everyone that helped and got us through all of this past 8-9 months. It's just been amazing. The ones that have stepped up to help with everything and the ones that have supported in thought and prayer and wishes. Appreciate every bit of it more than
every bit of it
more than
helped.
I can describe.
Yes. Yes.
So what are you thinking? You just want to...
I was seeing in my mind's eye the tree that Junior knocked down when he had too much caffeine that time, where those orange flowers had been. I don't know if that's where he wants us or who, but that was the first visual I was given when we walked in.
Well, we'll go back and check it out.
Family's doing great. I was telling Ken, as a reminder, Davi and his mate got a little boy last November. Davi's a big, quiet, giant fella, but his heart is huge. Always the protector. And then I'm understanding that Sobe that they may be expecting a girl this fall. So they're going and growing. With that being said, we realized through all the chaos this last year, we forgot to announce a very, very important and blessed event in our own life. We got a new grandson, and his name is Xander. And he is also, like his sister Addie, very connected to the people. He actually started out speaking in grunt, which was concerning for a minute. But it's not like a hybrid type energy or anything. It's just that he's not too feral, but he's very adventurous, and sometimes I see their influence in the way he not only cuddles, but in the way that he communicates. And what's funny is when he first started that, like going to the doctor, if the doctor growled back at him or grunted back at him, he'd just laugh, and the doctor was his best friend from that point forward, and then it was all normal. I'm not sure how all that works, but
he's a monster.
He's something. He's a very big boy. He's already more than 3 feet tall. He just turned a year in June. He can reach the middle of the counter, so his mom has her hands full. Weighs almost 40 pounds. So literally has her hands full trying to keep him mobile when he's feeling like being held. He's a beautiful boy, and we've been blessed. And it was shameful that we didn't share that goodness sooner. I think we all just got caught up in the crazy, and that's too easy.
And like I said, this past 8 months has been a ride that I don't care to repeat in any way, shape, or fashion. We're going to do our best to finish out the last quarter of this year in a much better physical, mental, emotional place. It was rough. The first part of the year, I lost my oldest sister. I was having the health issues, of course, that you're aware of. Of course, Rachel broke her arm. We know that part of it. And about 2 weeks before I had to have my bypass surgery, my oldest brother died. And got through the surgery. And when we posted that video right after I had got home from the hospital, a week later, my mom passed away. So yeah, it's been a year.
And change is never easy, but it's always necessary, and we know this. And you know, sometimes these beautiful souls have to move forward in order for things to change, because as long as we have our lives constructed around certain individuals or certain ways of being, we aren't necessarily open to the things that are intended for us.
Yeah, but she had a pretty good run. She was 1 month short of 95. 32 grandkids out of 8 kids. Almost double that in great-grandkids, and started on a huge number of great-great-grandkids. So
she was a definite matriarch. So in these things, what you see?
I'm just looking around, looking at the different limb structures and see what my eye can spot that might be a little different. I said it's been a minute since we've been out here, so.
When you stop quick, I always anticipate seeing one running in front of me.
Well, sometimes I'll see a shadow up against a tree, want to stop and take a look at it for a second and see if I'm just seeing shadow or something else.
Yeah. occasionally, not often, but occasionally we've seen them standing on trail like across from us here. And Took was the last one that I saw. He was still, gosh, maybe 5 or 6, and he was already just tall enough, but it's kind of a now you see him, now you don't. And a lot of those young ones get corrected pretty quick when the older ones know they've been seen.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to see any kind of a footprint because the ground is dry
Really
as a
brittle.
bone. We really haven't had anything more than a sprinkle in a month, really.
We had flooding rains all spring. So depending on the depth of the foot, there could still be residual track from that, but this particular creek really gets out of bounds in a hurry.
Well, it looks like they've kept up their treat tree.
Yeah, we sure have. We can walk over there.
We didn't bring anything but ourselves out here today.
In fact, those limbs are in and I think that this is very often territorial with them, the X. Kind of a, this is ours, our place, our space.
Yeah, made a big X out of it and got a quartz rock sitting there.
Beautiful. That old tree's changed quite a bit in the last few years. Quite a bit. Somewhere we have original pictures of it, and imagine the one in the back has changed too. They enjoy the treats, but really for us it's always been more of a sign of gratitude for being able to share their space. And often it's the young ones that are indulging in the senses, the taste and the vibration of food.
I'll have to rethink some of the stuff that we used to bring out here, but I don't think we can get away without a pizza once in a while.
Once in a while. That's Sobe's favorite. Felt like I just saw hands clapping. Their big arches are still there to your left. We did frequency tests. Some of you are new. I would invite you to check out some of the old videos because we did frequency tests on some of the arches and different things. And they absolutely just spiked energetically. We know they're doorways for them. I suppose in the grand scheme of things, they can be doorways for us if we're in tune with that, but have to really be in sync. There's the big tree. I feel like it shrunk. What you got out here, Junior? Jonas, excuse me. He's trying to transition to Jonas. He's always Junior in our hearts. He'll have a birthday soon, too, at the end of October. I think he will be 15. Getting to be a young man.
Got really quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you at, boys? Well, if you watched the video right after I got out of the hospital, you heard me talking about my experience on the table. And I was trying for the longest time to think of a good description, a perfect word to describe it, and I came across it the other night, and it was the word absolute. The absolute of everything connected together.
You know, a lot of times we look at things like the forest people and other cryptids and such, and they seem like a great illusion. But the irony, I think, is our 3D world is a greater illusion yet than they are. I mean, in the construct of what we've collectively created for the experience, for the knowing. I was talking to somebody the other day and I said, you know, you can think something all day long, but until you have that experience, you know nothing. And it's just bringing all that into that knowing place helps us identify who we are, what we're about. And I believe that these great beings that we work with, as well as others, are really just helping us get there, you know, helping us in that experience. Thoughts?
My brain was elsewhere, thinking that everything that we see and experience is just a projection of what we expect our reality to be.
Yeah.
Kind of went off the deep end there, but I was thinking about, you know, we're just a walking meat sickle.
Meat sickle. Mm.
Just a meat sickle housing our soul, spirit, essence, consciousness, and it's just a temporary vessel. So ourselves, we're just a projection of what our soul expects us to experience this go around. What is that on the ground over there?
It's looking mylar from here, but I'm not sure. Let's go see. We know they have a fascination for mylar. I do not know what that is.
Well, you would be correct. It's a balloon.
With blue stars all over it or something. I think it's the crinkle sound. It's the same with those plastic bottles. They sit there and just squish them, and I think it's the sound. I'm going to leave that for them. I'll look around on the ground while I'm traipsing here.
Yeah, hello, old friend.
Yeah. It's not changed as much as I thought.
Yeah, that whole entire structure that was there 2 years ago is completely gone away.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
It's just
Nothing there now.
Yeah, not even the branches that made it. Huh. These have gotten bigger, these holes.
Mm-hmm.
We have found so many things up in this tree. Beautiful.
And now that I'm feeling good enough to hike around and carry a little bit of stuff, we need to charge up all the infrared things and come out here and have an evening sit down.
Yeah. They seem to love to communicate with that EMF detector. And we like to use what is the name of that with the radar? But you
like
can see the energetic signatures.
Radar,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
You can see the energetic signatures come up. And it's good for a lot of things, but our favorite thing to use these things for is genuinely and just communicating out here. They're not far. It's a little too quiet for them to be very far. I feel like I'm seeing some of that shadow over there to your left a little.
I don't want to limit us to just this either. I've had enough time now where I've been forced to sit down and rest, and took time to look around trying to research and explore a lot of the old historical haunted places and things like that. I'd really like to incorporate a lot more of that into, the coming months of things that we're doing and exploring. There's so many aspects and elements to check out. didn't pick it up. It was
Big grunt, yeah. Another one close to us, just this little spot back here seems to be a preferential location for them. Of course, there's just enough cover and thicker things for them to integrate with.
Like I said, today is primarily just to stretch our legs, get out and look around a little bit and see if we noticed any obvious changes in anything.
There's a lot more ground here to look at.
It's definitely one of those give and takes with these guys out here. The more often we show up, the more they start interacting and leaving little signs and clues. And
Is that an old X in front of you?
yeah. Well, I think I'm ready to hike back up and figure out what we're going to do for the next go around.
Yeah. Again, thank you to everyone for being present in our experience.
And now that they know we're climbing back up in the saddle, we can try to get a little more going on out here again.
Notice their structures haven't changed too much, so I feel like they're still active except for that big one over here.
Yeah.
That was a huge structure. But we also felt like a lot of that was for the little ones. And they're not so little right now.
Well, we appreciate you tagging along with us out here today, and we are going to see you very, very soon. Thanks again for all the support, and we will catch you later on down the trail.
God bless.
Bye.